So how about you just go fling yourself? Fling yourself to the finish, that is. So this is fling yourself to the finish, and you'll be doing a lot of flinging on your own. So it's a cooperative racing game where two players are tethered together. Sometimes you can actually choose to play on your own, but really the soul of this game is the two-player online experience. So there, you pretty much control these goofy marble-like things. It kind of reminds me of Iggy's Wrecking Balls on the N64, which is like what, a 20-year throwback of sorts. So kind of, at least. So the creatures, they kind of have these cartoonish eyeballs. They've got different designs. I think there's like a snail, there's a sheep, there's a penguin, etc. The design doesn't seem to have an impact on the actual performance of your racer. It's just, you know, which character you prefer. And you race through these obstacle courses, and your rope can get stuck between and tangled between certain objects. So usually it's a pillar, sometimes there's holes that you have to jump over, and if you're playing on your own, this is actually pretty tricky, and part of the strategy is being able to get both of your flingers over the holes. And so there's a significant amount of communication involved, and if you're playing it on your own rather than with others, ideally, you know, ideally playing with someone beside you, because then you can actually communicate more easily. But if you're playing on your own, it's really tricky, and it's a lot more like finger footwork to continue and progress. Fortunately, you can fling your partner up ledges, and you can sort of force them to hold still and then like fling one of the people on the tether. The graphics are nice looking. They kind of look like a generalized Unity. I think it is a Unity game. And there's, as I said, a lot of obstacles. There's platforms to jump and avoid as well. The colors are bright, and the music's like super cheery without being like sickly, I guess. The controls can be really complicated, and that's, you know, there's an element of skill involved, especially if you're trying to control both worlds, as I said. And ultimately, like, I feel like this game has an amazing concept. I've been meaning to choose it for, I don't know, maybe a year or two, but I wasn't sure how well it was going to work with one person playing. And the con is, unfortunately, it seems to be a dead game online. I've seen streamers post videos of them playing the game, but yes, it seems like almost no one's playing online. I tried a few times, whenever I tried to play online, no one's playing this game, so it's pretty much dead online from what I could see. If you can play with a friend online or locally preferred, strong emphasis. The multiplayer mode, I feel like it's too troublesome to play through as a one-person team, and especially the controls. If you're trying to choose everything, I was only able to. I got my controller working, but it seemed very cumbersome, because the second player, I think, has to use a keyboard from what I remember. So if you have a controller and you have to use the keyboard as well, it's kind of a pain in the butt, and as I said, it makes the one-player mode totally too much of a pain in the ass for one person to play it. You really need a second player. And yeah, I checked after when I last played it, and there were like 7 people online. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's pretty much a dead online game, unfortunately. And it also said like 36 people had played that day. I'm like, okay, I know the game's a little bit old, but unfortunately it didn't seem like many people were around. I just feel like it's far too frustrating. Like, I love the concept, but it's far too frustrating for the average user, and it just demands that excellent communication. So if you don't have good communication while you're playing video games with someone, find someone else, then pick up this game. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a fun experience. The game goes for 20 bucks. As I said, it's clearly a fun game if you're playing with a partner, but I'd say try and buy it for 5 to 10 bucks, and get some friends to buy it and play it with you. But just do not buy it for the solo experience, one-player mode. The game is a little bit older, an older game, and just seems too frustrating to be fun, in my opinion, right now. If you can get it for cheap, it seems like a fun party game. 7 out of 10. If you can handle the frustration coming from, like, the controls just feel fickle. I don't know if it gets better if you have a second player, but it plays like a party game, but it's not a game that you can really play on your own. So I would say just keep flinging yourself forward, but if don't rage quit from the frustration first, because this is not one player flinger. So keep on gaming, keep on flinging if you get too frustrated.